What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. And in today's episode, I'm going to talk on how I got into Air Jordan 1s. There is a whole backstory with me and Air Jordan 1s because I was so clueless. Air Jordan 1s was, I would have to say, they were one of the reasons why I understand, the difference between newer Jordans and retro Jordans, because I, for the longest, did not know what that stuff meant. And I had, because when I had got my first pair of Air Jordan 1s, I didn't know that there's these other ones that look just like the ones that I had, and those were retro, and I could have got those ones, but instead I got the ones that I liked because they had a paint splatter on them, which I still do like those Jordans. Don't get me wrong, but if I would have known that one was better than the other, I would have gotten those ones. But anyways, I did in a way kind of get some that look like them, but they're not the same. They're not the same Jordans. But anyways, so how did I get into Air Jordan 1? So it was right after my phase with Adidas shoes had ended. Because Adidas, so here's the thing, the two stores that I would go to had a small selection on Adidas shoes. I wouldn't say that they had today they have a bigger selection. They got Ultra Boost, they got those 4D printed Adidas, they got a crap ton of different Adidas, all right? So at the time being, when I got into Adidas, they had just the EQT regulars. There wasn't the EQT Boost or any other form of EQT. It was the EQT ADV, which was the latest model of the EQT shoes. I don't even know if they still make those shoes. They mainly focus on Ultra Boost and Yeezys. I don't know anything about. Let's actually see if they do anything with EQT, because I feel like they don't. I have the Adidas app on my phone, and I'm just going to search it up and see. But if not, then it wouldn't surprise me, because them shoes, suggestions, shoes, EQT shoes. They might have changed the design in them. I don't know. Oh, I don't like those. They are spikeless. I don't know what these are supposed to be, but yeah, I'm not feeling those shoes. I like the ones that they had prior before. But anyways, so after my phase with the Adidas shoes went out, then I was well, I want to get me another pair of shoes. I want to see what other options I have and stuff, rather than, because then also on top of that, there's this guy that got me into shoes. I speak on him from time to time because it's funny. I ended up becoming good friends with his ex. His ex ended up working at my cafe job, and then he ended up working at the job not too far from where I work. So I was that was just a weird circle that just came together and stuff. But anyways, but no, so the guy that got me into Adidas shoes and told me everything that I needed to know had stopped working at the store that I would go to. So at that point, I just kind of lost guidance when it came to Adidas shoes. I wasn't really paying too much attention to them. And then it was just a day I got instead of looking in the one little section that I would look at for Adidas, I started looking all around throughout the store and stuff. So I did see there's these I don't even know the name or the colorway that they call the ones that I got, but I seen the blue ones, which are these retro ones that came out, it's these royal blue ones, that's what they call them. And they came out I think, I can't remember when the first time that they were released, but the last time that they were released was in 2017. And so since then, they've just released Jordans. They look like them, but they're not the Jordan and stuff. So they had those ones, and then they had these paint splattered ones. So I thought the paint splattered ones was a little bit, because I like flashier stuff. I don't like basic, now I do. I like basic, flashy. I like all different types of shoes. It doesn't really matter to me anymore. So I seen the paint splattered ones. I picked those up, had them in my size. And then that's the thing, though, about those royal ones. They probably wouldn't even have had them in my size. They probably have been oh, yeah, we have them but they were on the shelves for the longest. So that's why I'm they probably did, and I just didn't care for them. But I'm that's the thing, though, they had to them shoes, because my like shoes was like a thing in like 2017. I mean, it wasn't like shoes wasn't a big deal. So that's why I'm like, it was like now I feel like that if them shoes were to get released, they wouldn't even be sitting on the shelves. Like it surprises me sometimes when they sit on shelves, because there were these pine green, those 2.0 pine greens that came out, what was it, like last year or a couple of years ago. I was surprised that I had gotten those. Like now it's like I wasn't even trying to go for those shoes because I knew I wasn't gonna get them, but I seen them on the shelves and the guy told me like, yeah, they only had one size left in the size. I feel like they just be saying that like that's a tactic. Like I know I'm gonna get the shoes. Like you ain't gotta tell me that, but I feel like that's like a tactic that be going on in Champs and Foot Locker and stuff. But so anyways, I ended up getting those ones. Loved them. Wore them a crap ton. I haven't really been wearing them a lot lately, but I've been, bro, like I'm telling you, like I still got them just like sitting out the box and just chilling and stuff, collecting dust. But occasionally I'll just like looking at them and just be like, that's where it all started. Like that's why I feel like that's when I became a sneakerhead, when I bought those shoes. Like before, I was just buying shoes just to buy them. But after them shoes, like that's when I developed a sneaker addiction. So shout out to those ones. But anyways, so I got those, and then it was funny because at work, like my like coworkers, they didn't really like know me to like wear Jordans and stuff. Like they didn't really see me as the type to wear Jordans because I would always wear like running shoes. I remember I had like I had like the all black Air Forces and stuff, so I was wearing those. And then I just pulled in with those ones, and then yeah, they was all like I remember I actually did have some other pair of shoes that wasn't like ones, but they looked like ones. They looked like kind of like them like airship like Jordans, or not Jordan, but those airship Nike shoes that Jordan had, but they wasn't like those ones. This is like the ones I had was like a suede. They looked like ones, but it wasn't. It was like some famous footwear ones and stuff. So that's exactly what they were. Like they were like the famous footwear ones. It wasn't like no ones that you'll get on a Nike app or StockX or GOAT. Like nah, these shoes was like famous footwear shoes. So anyways, and for those that don't know, Famous Footwear, I feel like it's a pretty popular store, but for those that don't know Famous Footwear is like they sell like name brand stuff, but it's just not famous. It's not stuff that you be like, oh, I'm trying to get those. I'm trying, like they don't have shoes like that in there and stuff. So they just have like some like they honestly just have like Nikes. They just got Nikes. They don't have like no names for them. They're just Nikes. So anyways, but so I was wearing those ones, the paint splattered ones, and was wearing them a crap ton, loved them. And then I was all like, you know what? I want me another pair of ones. I was like, I liked ones. I was like, and the crazy thing about it, like to talk on ones, like, because you would think like, okay, it's an old like 80s shoe. It's probably not going to be that comfortable since there's so many other different types of like midsoles and soles to like shoes and stuff. Like ones is just like they're old and out of date. So like, you know, you ain't going to be wearing them as much compared to like other running shoes that I have, where those ones was like, bro, I was wearing, even still to this day, I will like wear running shoes and stuff just to go out and about and things. But if I'm telling you, if I feel like rocking a pair of ones, like, oh, the thing is though about ones, like they're still comfortable, even like after 30 something years of them shoes being released, like them shoes is still comfortable. So that's why I'm like, yeah, ones to me is like probably the one of the best shoes of all time. Like there's not too many Jordans. I had to say probably like the only pair of Jordans that can compare to ones are 11s. 11s I feel like are another pair of shoes where it's like that's like another iconic like Jordan and stuff. I mean 3s and 4s are iconic. 3s I feel like are a little bit more iconic than 4s, but I feel like it's 1s and 11s. Like that's it. All right. So anyways, back on ones. So I was like, bro, I want to go out and get me a pair of ones. I'm like, I got to get me a pair, okay? So my thing was that I wasn't, at the time being, I wasn't that person where I was like downloading apps, seeing what shoes is going to be getting released and seeing what shoes is going to, I wasn't doing all of that. Like I just walked in the store and been like, okay, if they have something that I like, I'm going to get it. If not, then I'm just going to take my business elsewhere and just not get any shoes today. But so then there's these ones that I seen, and I'm you know what? Actually, no, I'm gonna get to how I found out the difference between low, mids, and highs. Like lows, okay, you can honestly tell that them are some low top Jordans, but mids and highs, I'm gonna get to talking on that and stuff, you know. But anyways, so when I had seen these South Beach ones, bro. Those are like my favorite. I don't really wear them too much now, but those were probably would be my favorite ones. I'm telling you, I didn't even care what my outfit was. Like I just wore because I wore black clothing when I would go into work. So that's why I'm like, oh, the footwork, oh, it's gonna be elite. It's gonna be some elite footwork. I do not care what other upper clothes I got. The footwork is gonna be there. Okay, I'm making sure of it. So anyways, so I got these South Beach ones. Those and the crazy thing about it, those shoes, like even though they're considered like South Beach, like Florida based shoes, them shoes go perfectly with my Mariners jersey. So I'm like, bro, if there's a day where I'm like, if I'm ever going out and about and I feel like rocking some Mariners stuff, oh, like them shoes and the jersey, it's gonna be a fit. Like that's a legitimate fit right there. So anyways, so yeah, I got those ones, and I'll never forget when wearing those shoes. I was wearing those shoes outside, and I can't remember when exactly afterwards, like when after I bought the shoes, I can't remember like when afterwards this had happened. But I'm walking to the, I think it was either to the bus stop or to meet up with my mom at her job. And then this guy, he made sure he stopped me to compliment my shoes. That's one thing like that you can like get a sneakerhead's like confident boosted is when you compliment their shoes. Oh my god, like bro, I don't know on a regular when I'm wearing like freaking I'm trying to think what shoes was I wearing. I was in Walmart one time. I think I was wearing the pine green ones. I was wearing the pine green ones. This guy, he made sure he walked by me during the pandemic. During the pandemic, this is a pandemic compliment. He made sure he walked right past me, okay? Made sure he like that we at least made eye contact, but he was like, he looked and was just like, hey, nice. He came up from behind me when he said it, but he was like, hey, nice shoes, bro. And then made sure I made like eye contact. And I'm like, oh, thanks. It's funny how like when you get a compliment on your shoes, you gotta look at them. Like you don't forgot what pair. But there have been times I've forgotten what pair of shoes I've been wearing, cause I got so many different pairs and things. So there's at times where I forget a pair that or forget that I'm wearing a pair. I'll just cause I don't look at them for a while, and so I'm just all like, wait a minute, what? And so I'm like, oh, the pine green one. I'm like, oh yeah, thanks, bro. Hold on for 1 second. All right, I'm back. Just had to do something real quick. But anyways, so the South Beach, so the guy, I'm sitting there walking. Guy stopped me and was all like, hey, he was just like, where'd you get those at? And I'm like, oh, I got them at Foot Locker in the city that I live in. He's like, man, them shoes is nice. And I'm like, dang, like this, I'm like, hey, yo, like I like this, like these compliments. And so after that, like, bro, every time when somebody compliments my shoes, I always feel a certain way. Like it warms me up inside, because I'm like, man, you know, like it is funny. I remember there's this one dude that I at my job. That guy, man, he always would come in with like some of the most dopest shoes. Like it wasn't even Jordans. This dude would come in with some freaking like Gucci, Balenciaga. Like this dude would come in and with like $1,000 shoes on. Like all his shoes pretty much cost over $500, either resale or retail. They always cost over $500. But I'll never forget the time where I think I was wearing some foam posits and he complimented my shoes. That's like shaking the hand with the president. Like that's not biting cool. Like I wouldn't mind shaking hands with him. Definitely not our last president. But Barack Obama, that's how it felt. Like that's how I honestly felt. Like I felt like I just shook hands with Barack Obama, and I'm like, dang, like that means something. Like, you know, this guy, I'm like, you out here wearing some of the most expensive shoes of all time, and you compliment my $200 phone posits. Oh yeah, that's why still to them today, I will always wear those shoes, because I'm like, there was a shattered backboard phone posits, by the way, just for those that's curious and stuff. But anyways, back on the ones. So so the South Beach ones, I was like madly in love with those, was wearing them a crap ton. And then I think I slowed down. I'm trying to think. I don't think I bought, probably can hear the motorcycle man outside my house. But anyways, So I think after that, like, I wasn't really buying ones. Like, I'm trying to think, like, I can't remember really any other pair of ones that I did get after that. I remember I did get my low tops, and then at some point in time, that's when I figured out like the difference between mids and highs, because mid tops are like those are like the after, like not after, but they're like created after the OG ones. So for those that was wondering, OG ones came out first, and then at some point in time, like lows and mids had came out. So OG, like the OG high top or high top Jordans, OGs, all right, and then mids and lows, like them, just the newer ones and stuff. But there's still some colorways that will blow up and be talked about, because I know Travis Scott, he came out with some low top ones, and everybody talks on those. Are like really the only like low top ones that people care for. But people, that's the thing though with mids, people really be trashing on mids, and I feel like now they're coming out with some colorways where it's like, oh, you gonna still trash on these shoes? Because that's what Jordan's been doing with the mids. He's been coming out with colorways that look like the original pair. Like, I remember I did have one pair that did look like the original pair, like the original Air Jordans. But there's like minor differences with them and stuff. Like, I know the ones that I had, the back of it was white, but on the original pair, the back of it, like at the heel part, was red. And so then he's also coming out with some other ones that look like the royal blue ones that I seen when I was getting those paint splattered ones. So the, like in those ones, so the blue ones were those other ones that I seen that wasn't the paint splattered ones. The other ones that looked exactly alike, those were the OG like retro high top, which I could have gotten and could have been like, hey yo, like I copped a good pair of shoes right then and there. And I didn't even realize that, and that's how you can tell the difference between mids and retro high tops. Because like they both, like, that's the thing though about those shoes, like the mids, they do kind of look like high tops a little bit. So it's like it will, like a beginner sneakerhead, like you will get kind of confused when looking at them and stuff. And but that's how you can tell the difference. On the retro like OG high tops, the tongue on there says Nike, but on the mid tops they say Jordan, and it has, or I think it says Air, and then it has like the Jordan emblem. So yeah, that's how I figured it out, and I was like, oh, well, I didn't realize that at first. And I remember it was funny because one of my friends, she's a sneakerhead. And I remember because me and her, we both worked together at one point in time. And I remember when I walked in with the South Beach one, she asked me, "Are they retro?" And I was all like, I think so. I don't know. I'm like, is it? And she was, and I think she said, oh yeah, they are retro because of the material. So I always thought it was a material thing, but no, like it's a design, like it's a color and design thing. So if it's like, if you see some like red and black Jordans with the Nike tongue and their high tops, those are like the original ones that he was wearing back in the day. But if you see some other ones that says like Jordan, if you see one that doesn't even have like an emblem, like it doesn't even look like a pair of Jordans, you got knockoffs. Okay, so take them shoes, burn them in the fire, and tell nobody that you had them. But other than that, yeah, like that confused me at first, because I was like, bruh, what pair of shoes do I have? Do I have retros or do I not have retros? That's all that I care for. But no, like as the time progressed on, like I did figure out, like, okay, so I have mids. I only have one pair of retros. I have, and it's those Pine Green 2.0s that came out, which are like the OG like high tops. So they're not like, it's more so the design that's retro, but it's not the colorway that's like retro. And like, and that's like the like what retro obviously like means. So for an example, not talking on ones anymore, but talking on the Air Jordan 11s. So they so like back like in like 96, Michael Jordan, he released a pair of these Air Jordan 11s called Bread, like the Bread edition. So when those got released for the first time, like then they were just called like Air Jordan 11. But then some years after that, then they got re-released again, and then they were considered retro. And then some time after that, they got retroed again, and then in 2019 they got retroed again. So that's what that means, like, for those that is confused on it. Like, it doesn't have anything to do, like, because he can come out with, and I don't even think the Pine Green ones, they might have, like, retro on it. Oh, actually, no, I have two pairs of retros, because there's these other ones that I started customizing, but I'm thinking about just turning them back to its original color. But yeah, other than that, like they but what was I saying? There, yeah, the ones I straight up got distracted and then seen. I was like, oh wait a minute, I got two pairs, and so see how easily I'll get distracted, bro. Just looking over at my shoe boxes, man. That's when you just have too many. But anyways, I sure forgot what I was saying, but overall, like, yeah, retro is well. Oh yeah, so the colors don't necessarily mean that it's retro, and it might have retro on the box, but it's just more so talking on the design, like material and all that stuff. But I think like a lot of the shoes today, like the material has changed because I know when I watch like sneakerheads that's like a little bit older than me, and they've been like in the shoe game a lot longer than I have. Then yeah, they talk on like, oh yeah, like back then, because I know there's the one guy that I watch, Nighthawk, but his channel Wear Testers, he talks on like, because he's had like I don't know how old that dude is, but he talked on like when he got like an original pair of Bred 11s, and he talks on like how the design, not the design but comfort wise, like it felt better. And then also, I remember he talked on like the design of the Air Jordan 3s and how like they changed over the years and stuff. But yeah, man, it's like shoes, especially Jordans, like them shoes, like I think Jordans is really the only pair of shoes that'll get retro. And I know there are other Nike shoes that do get re-releases and stuff, but I think Jordan, he just owns like that retro name. Like he doesn't, you don't really hear too many brands or companies out there being like, oh, retro Adidas or retro Reeboks or retro, like, nah, Jordan like owns the retro name. Like I'm telling you, Jordan really wanted to trademark that name retro. Like he possibly could, but anyways, but yeah, like there's a lot to know about Air Jordan 1s, and I haven't really bought no Air Jordan 1s. I was looking at some low tops not too long ago. They recently came out with these like red low tops and then these yellow ones, and they were both nice, and I couldn't even make up a decision, so I just say, you know what, I am gonna get them. I was all like, yeah, because I'm like, because of COVID, I'm trying to save my money and stuff, so I'm like, but I'm telling you, if it had been like, if it had been 2019 while I was working at this job downtown Seattle making a good paycheck, oh yeah, like I definitely would have bought those shoes with no regrets. Like that's why I'm like, COVID had its like good things about it. Like I was able to take YouTube serious, but at the same time, COVID did slow down my sneaker habit. So I'm like, I don't appreciate that, not at all. So I'm like, the day when COVID finally dies off, oh, I'm going to be laughing all the way to a Foot Locker, and I'm going to be getting me a pair of shoes. But anyways, yeah, it's going to be some celebration, some, yeah, death to COVID celebration, like buying me some shoes at Foot Locker. I'm just going to buy whatever. I don't care. But anyways, yeah, this was a pretty good episode to record to inform y'all on Air Jordan 1s and stuff. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, like reach out to me. Like if you're learning about sneakers and stuff and you want to get you a pair of ones but you don't really know which ones to get and stuff, like give me like an idea of like what you want, and then I'll let you know if they have like a pair out there, because there's like a lot of shoes that's just been embedded in my head. And so like when people, they be all like, oh, I wonder if they have like some like all black like Air Jordan 1s. I'm like, they actually do. They're it's mid tops. I don't think they have any like all black high tops. I think they do have some. They might have some all black lows. If not, then you could just go out and get you a pair of like Air Force 1s. They look exactly like Air Jordans, but it's just like the bottom part to it is a little bit bigger. But yeah, there's a crap ton of Air Jordans out there, so don't feel like that you can't find a color that won't fit you, because trust me, there is a crap ton of colors out there. But anyways, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. If you're viewing this on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. And if you're viewing this on a podcast streaming service, make sure you follow or subscribe, however it's set up. Subscribe to any of my 31 YouTube channels. Follow me on Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram at TMossBoss. Like my Facebook page, TMossBoss fan page. And I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching and for listening, and peace.